So I decided to create a Pinterest board to express my ideas about the novel Wrecked by Maria Padian. The board also contains pins about some of the central themes within the novel, like consent, sexual assault, and recovery. I didn't particularly enjoy the novel, but I did appreciate the attempt made to approach such a delicate topic. So College Humor has actually created this YouTube video called What If Bears Killed 1 in 5 People, in the hopes of spreading awareness of sexual assault and how ridiculous it is to ignore. I thoroughly enjoyed this commentary, and it does a fantastic job of using statistics and hyperbole to shed light on an important issue. Basically, 5 guys are hanging out and drinking when one has to use the restroom. So he goes upstairs and discovers a bear in his friend's house. When he confronts the friend, the man says, "Don't worry, he only eats 1 in 5 people." As someone watching the video, you can see just how ridiculous this truly is, yet we don't have the same reaction to sexual assault. So this is actually a video created by Elle.com, and it contains information about rape kits and what exactly happens during one. So even though Jenny never has a rape kit done, I think it's important to know what it is. So rape kits are one of the most powerful tools to help bring a perpetrator to justice. And one of the most shocking facts I learned from the video is that these kits can take anywhere from 2 to 6 hours and are extremely thorough. This is another infographic that I found while researching campus sexual assault, and it's titled A Shared Responsibility. Here is the statistic that we saw earlier in the College Humor video, that 1 in 5 women is sexually assaulted in college, but also take note of the statistic that 1/3 of sexual assault survivors are first-year students, just like Jenny. I also really liked that the graphic includes federal laws on campus sexual assault. I was previously aware of the Title IX, but I had never heard of the Clery Act or the Campus Save Act. Here's some more information about how colleges and universities can act to prevent sexual assault and support survivors. Schools must take up reports of sexual assault, provide ongoing prevention and awareness programs for students and employees, and ensure survivors have access to everything they may need to continue their education. In addition to that, schools should also move quickly to suspend and expel offenders to ensure both the survivors' safety and maintain a safe environment for other students. And they should also investigate reports of sexual assault to identify patterns and change security practices to better protect students in the future. So despite the increasing awareness, too many colleges continue to fail at addressing the problems. Next month is actually Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I really like that this graphic is so visual. So out of 100 rapes, 40 get reported to police, 10 lead to an arrest, 8 get prosecuted, 4 lead to felony convictions, 3 rapists will not spend a single day in prison, and 97 out of those 100 rapes will walk free. Although we typically focus on women in cases of sexual assault, I think it's important to note that 1 in 10 males were survivors of rape. In this section, I might highlight the fact that ages 12 through 34 are the highest risk years, and victims of sexual assault are 3 times more likely to suffer from depression, 6 times more likely to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, 13 times more likely to abuse alcohol, 26 times more likely to abuse drugs, and 4 times more likely to contemplate suicide. The one downside to this infographic is the terminology they use. They often say victims of sexual assault, and that's not something that I agree with. I would prefer that they use the term survivors, and I would encourage my students to also use this type of terminology. So this infographic discusses the possible reasons why survivors don't report sexual assault to police. 56% feel that they are young and powerless, 40% feel ashamed, 29% blame themselves, 26% desire to move on, while 21% believe that reporting wouldn't do any good. 19% don't want to turn a family member in. 18% believe that'll have an effect on their future relationships. 15% are afraid of further damage from their attacker. 11% are afraid of the legal process, and 9% knew the person and didn't want to destroy their life. So I feel like Jenny had some similar feelings towards the beginning of the novel. She was reluctant at first, but gained support from Carrie, who worked with the student helpline. So how victims, again, we should be calling them survivors, feel about having reported sexual assault to police. The majority of the survivors felt abandoned or devastated, while only 22% were satisfied and 2% felt vindicated. And then, was reporting to police a positive or negative experience? The majority of survivors said that they had a negative experience. These are some great starter statements to show your support for survivors of sexual assault. So, it wasn't your fault. If you need someone to come with you, I will. I'll support whatever you choose to do. And what can I do to support you? I think it's important to emphasize that you want what is best for them and that whatever happens is their decision. The power should rest with the individual, and it's our job just to listen. This simple drawing is an accurate portrayal of the road to recovery for survivors of sexual assault. So there's no straight path to recovery, and everyone's journey is unique to them. As you can see, the arrow starts off moving in an upward direction, but it often loops back around, and this does a great job of depicting the setbacks in the recovery process. It's important for us to support survivors, but let them make their own decisions and have a voice. So I thought that this was a great little poster that lists possible responses that all equate to no. So, not now means no. Wait. I'd rather be alone. No thanks. I have a boy or a girlfriend. Maybe later. Let's just go to sleep. It hurts. Fuck you means no. Fuck me means yes. I'm not in the mood means no. You're not my type. Silence. Staying still. I really like you, but means no. You're drunk, I'm drunk means no. Not kissing back means no. I'm not sure means no. Stop means no. Don't touch me means no. Unless the person explicitly consents, then it's rape. There are no exceptions. Things that cause rape: short skirts, being drunk, and flirting. Society has reinforced these excuses time after time, and the blame lies with the woman. In reality, lack of self-control is what causes rape. Even though Jenny and Jordan were both under the influence of alcohol, that isn't an excuse. I think it's important to make the distinction and negate these simplified justifications. So this is a link to sexual assault awareness campaigns, and the words painted on the woman's body read, "I didn't ask to be raped. Drunk does not equal consent." Some survivors say that reporting the assault is like being raped a second time, yet the brave women featured in these campaigns decided to speak out to raise awareness. So this piece of art was actually created by a college student and visually describes the aftermath of sexual assault. Each color represents a different touch from someone, so black is her mom, blue her dad, green her siblings, yellow her friends, orange her lovers, and the parts of her body that were painted red were actually touched by someone that she told no. The artist said that she made the project largely for herself to actually visualize the lasting impact that touch can have on an individual. I think that this is a really powerful piece that epitomizes the saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. I definitely think that this picture says a lot about her and what happened to her. I'm sure many of you have heard about the Brock Turner case. Well, this quote was actually taken from the sexual assault survivor's letter, and it reads, "You took away my worth, my privacy, my energy, my time, my safety, my intimacy, my confidence, my own voice, until today." That's a really powerful statement that I think rings true to a number of sexual assault survivors in similar situations. You're not a victim for sharing your story. You are a survivor setting the world on fire with your truth, and you never know who needs your light, your warmth, and raging courage. Alex L. This is another quote that stood out to me. It introduces the term survivor in place of victim, which I've already talked a little bit about. It's crucial to use proper terminology in these types of situations. The term victim has a negative connotation, and I feel that the word survivor is a much more suitable choice, and that's something that I'd like to promote in my own classroom. This is the tattoo that Lady Gaga got that matches that of other sexual assault survivors who joined her on the stage at the Oscars during her performance of Till It Happens to You, which was written for a documentary that highlights the campus rape epidemic. This article immediately reminded me of Jenny's story. So, though we may never know what happened in this particular case, it's not uncommon for trauma survivors to have very fragmented recollections and difficulty with details. This can sometimes lead to an incorrect retelling of the story. That's what's so important to understand, that this is a very normal thing for a victim of a traumatic experience. The victim is trying to make coherence out of an incredibly disorganized set of pieces. In almost all cases, the intention is not to deceive, but rather to make sense of what they've processed. You can really feel the anger Jenny has towards the investigator when he's questioning her about her story. She feels like she's being attacked and that he doesn't believe her. The reality of the situation was that he did believe her, and she was just mixing up and confusing some of the details. So this article really shed some light onto that aspect of the novel, and I really enjoyed reading it.